I had a blast here. I mean, I really enjoyed playing here. I've said this before, and I believe it. I think every player should play in New York for at least a year. I mean, there's nothing like playing in this town. The fans are extremely passionate. There's not many, if any places to play that are better when you're going well, and there's no place worse to be when you're not going well. And I've seen both ends of that. So
Yeah.
I like to feel like I was a part of trying to turn things around here. And the organization was in a little bit of a downslide before I got here, and then when I came and Pedro came and Beltran came, and next thing you know, we're in the postseason and things had turned around. I mean, it was fun to be a part of that.
And you almost got there, but of course there is that collapse in '07. Do you regret saying after that collapse, you said it's disappointing, not devastating, and then I think in the last couple of days you said Met fans should sort of just move on from the whole thing?
Well, I still, every time something comes up where I might feel bad about something, I get an awful lot of tweets about, yeah, but you won't be devastated. I guess it would have been easier for me to say I was devastated. But you know what? That wasn't. It's not where I was, I guess, emotionally, so to speak. I mean, I guess I was looking at things a little bit differently at that stage of my life. Whether I said I was devastated or not, trust me, at the end of the day, I felt the same way I felt about that game. It was an awful game, and it was the last way that I wanted my tenure here in New York to end. I'd give anything to go back and do it over again, but I can't. It doesn't hurt any less for me today than it did 7 years ago.
And dwelling on it won't make it better.
Right, and dwelling on it's not going to make it better. Like I said, I wish if you could ever have a mulligan in life, that'd be one that I'd use right there, trust me, but you can't do that.
Let's talk about Mike Piazza. Obviously, a guy Mets fans were very interested in getting into the Hall of Fame. What do you think about him not getting it?
Well, I mean, I'm disappointed for him, and I know Mets fans are as well. And, I think he's one of those guys that I think you look at it and you try to figure out the fickleness of the voters and why they're voting the way they're voting. I mean, he was the best hitting catcher of our era, so there's no question about that. So I think there's no question Mike's getting in. It's unfortunate he didn't get in last year and then again this year. I think it's just a matter of time, and hopefully it's next year so that it's sooner and not later.
When you look back at your career, what are you most proudest about? Obviously, you didn't have the most overpowering stuff, and still you were phenomenal. What are you most proudest about?
I think obviously the number of wins, but I think the durability. I didn't go on the disabled list until the last year that I played. Very dependable in terms of making those 34, 35 starts a year, pitching 200 innings a year. I mean, to me, that's what I always wanted to establish to my manager in any given year going into spring training was here's a guy that we can count on and take the ball every 5 days, make 30-plus starts, and give us 200-plus innings. And I always felt like that was a huge commodity if teams had those kinds of guys, and that was the kind of guy I wanted to be.